Hey there, good morning. Welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, Wall Street is opening today in a very cautious mood, in my opinion. While I was writing the script, we were in the negative. And right now, we have just got into the positive. And I think the investors are still parsing the overnight news from big tech earnings and Fed's latest meeting and much publicized Trump-Xi summit on US-China trade relations. Alphabet leapt 7% on beats, while Meta plunged 8% over legislative charges and ballooning AI investments. Microsoft flagged $35 billion in new AI infrastructure, spooking some investors and sending the shares down 3%. NVDA's $5 trillion chip-fueled rally was a highlight for the semis. Personally, I think that in this channel, I have always been saying that Google is the best among the Mag 7, and one of the reasons is also because Google was into the AI game way before the others, and they were kind of forced to jumpstart and come out when OpenAI and Microsoft came up with ChatGPT. And that's the reason why I think a whole lot of data infrastructure spending for Google was already baked in. That's why they were lagging the Mag 7. And now the others in the Mag 7 are starting to catch up in their spending, and that's reflecting in their bottom line. And therefore, they are now falling behind while Google is surging ahead. That's my calculation. I'd like to hear from you guys what you think about it. I think President Trump's meeting with China's Xi Jinping led to a rare earths deal and a partial lowering of tariffs, giving global traders some fresh optimism. But I think that personally, this is like putting a good face or face-saving press release out there, because the rare earths is only for 1 year. And I think the focus of Beijing was more on the TikTok deal, whereas the focus for US was to get some relief on the soya side, and they wanted that fentanyl, so-called fentanyl crisis to be contained. That was their point of view. No talks on the chips. They are going to come back and talk to the chip companies out here. So there isn't really much, except from Trump going there and talking to various countries in Asia. Nothing much has come out of it, in my opinion. Fed is holding steady on rates, and Chair Powell saying December cuts aren't a certainty. So therefore, the treasuries have edged up a little higher, and rate expectations for the year end have kind of faded. It's all reflecting in today's market actions. And remember, we are at the very peak at this point of time. I think it's an inflection point, and major earnings to watch today are Amazon, Apple, MasterCard, Coinbase, and Reddit, all reporting after the close. Recent results from Coca-Cola, Penske, Sprouts, Farmers Market, Biorad, MGM, Chart Industries, and Stellantis show mixed consumer and industrial sentiment when they talk about their outlook and what they are seeing in the market with their customers. So the outlook is not very, very clear. It's not clearly positive. It's not clearly negative. And oil and gold prices are remaining steady, while European stocks and currencies are eyeing key central bank decisions. Business leaders surveyed today are split on their 2026 outlook. Only 41% are optimistic, 42% are pessimistic, with inflation and regulatory risk at record high concern levels. And I've also read reports of academics, scientists from the US who are facing a lot of cuts in their grants, and in some cases removal of grants altogether. They are looking at overseas opportunities, and there could be a potential brain drain, which could then result in the quality of education that is offered in the US institutions, and therefore attraction for foreign talent to come into US. It's not a good sight at this point of time, but nobody seems to be paying attention to that aspect. That's a fundamental aspect of American exceptionalism that's being chipped at. So let us see what happens at the end of Trump's term. US is going to be a very different country, very different from what we always knew it to be. That said, let's go on to the TradingView platform and see what is happening out there. Okay, so here we are in the TradingView platform. I'm going into S&P 500 futures, and as you can see, we have some kind of resistance out here. I'm just going to draw a minor line out here. This seems to be the resistance, and it's at 6,937.75. We are just 10 to 13 points below that. So the question is, are we going to be able to open above that, or is that going to be able to push us down? It's a minor line of resistance, and if we break through above that, then for today, resistance is at 6,985.00. Market sentiment is bullish. MACD is bearish. MACD is also bullish, but tending closely towards the signal line, trying to cross over to the bearish side, as you can see here in the light green histogram that you can see here, that indicates that the MACD is moving towards the signal line in a bearish manner. And then we are flat in terms of momentum. There's room on the RSI, but because we are flat, that means the energy is not there as yet. The market is still digesting what's happened so far. Nasdaq is also having some kind of a resistance out here. I would like to draw a line to indicate the resistance. It's somewhere in 26,266. We are at 26,268. So we are just on top of this line out here. I've just moved this across to the top so that it's a meaningful number that we are looking at. So I would say resistance today would be around 26,390.25, which is where we have been pushed down in the past 2 sessions. If we break above that, then I think we are on track to our target of 26,687.25. It is still possible that it could happen because market sentiment is bullish, MACD is bullish, and momentum is above average. It's overbought, but RSI is not where it has been in the past. It has been all the way up to 76.91 in the past. We are just at 70.92. It's possible that we could have a blow off top, meet this target, and then start coming down. Because after all this excitement, what is the new news we can get? Remember, Microsoft is tanking while Google is going up. So they are kind of a wash. They knock out each other's bullish and bearish effects, in my opinion. Dollar index is up 0.19% and it has managed to break out above the resistance of 99.197. So I'm going to mark this green right now. But for us to consider this to be a support, we have to close above this. So we have to close above 99.358 in the next candle that we have, tomorrow's candle. And then that would mean that we have confirmed this support. So we'll watch this for one more day. VIX is down 5.97%. Now UVIX seems to be really attractive at this point of time to me as the VIX continues to go down. And when the spike happens, you have to be alert to sell it off. So I'm going to be watching this again. I didn't have the nerve to buy it yesterday, but I'm going to check it out again today intraday and see if I can go in for it. Now I'm looking at gold. Gold is still consolidating in my opinion. So this could be a bear flag and this is a flagpole out here. This is a bear flag. So we are still on track to go to 3831.789, which is the target we established from earlier. So I'm thinking that I would be cautious when it comes to gold. It could fall down further. I'm long-term bullish on gold, but I think that we have to test 3,888.77 before we start dollar cost averaging. Again, personal opinion, not financial advice. I'm looking at the market sentiment, which is bearish. MACD is bearish, but tending towards the signal line to cross over to the bullish side. Momentum has picked up. It is just about average. So I would watch today's action and see if this is a bear flag which is breaking downwards. And if it did break downwards, then I have another target out here. So this will be the bear flag and I'm going to move it. And if we break out from here, then the new target will be 3791.901. So there is a lot of movement still to happen out here. It is not a done deal. Let us see what happens at the end of the day. Let us watch a few more candles. Put call ratio is mildly bullish, I would say. It's not as bullish as yesterday. And let's go on to AI. I'm going to keep this moving faster, unlike yesterday. .4G, thanks for joining. Hot Dog, thanks for joining. NVDA is down 0.44% in pre-market trades. We have a gap up situation out here, and we are up 2.99% as of yesterday. And now today we'll have to see what happens, because the gap up always creates a situation like a magnet to pull the price down. And that's what probably is happening right now. There was no major news for the semiconductor side after the Trump-Z meeting. So we'll have to wait and see what happens out here. That's why this negative has come in. Probably we might have support somewhere around 201.24. But right now pre-market indicates a negative situation. Meta is down 9.45%. And it's reported adjusted earnings of 7.25 per share for the quarter ended September 30, and it has surpassed last year's EPS of 6.03 and exceeded analysts' expectations. But the market is not happy with Meta. I'm just going to open up this press release out here, and let me go back to the news section. Meta Platforms is maintained at buy by Rosenblatt, and they have raised their target to 1,117.00 per share from 1,086.00. But I think the market is doing a little bit of thinking of its own. We have support out here at 736.95. Right now we are at 681.25. So this support, which we had at 737.49, let us open this, 737.18, which was the earlier support, is now becoming a resistance. We are at 681.25. So I'll have to adjust this chart. It's a bit disorienting. So even though we had dismissed our earlier target of 652.59, we are being given a rethink because the price has dropped sharply and come back down here, and our resistance is reinstated at 736.95. So for today, I would like to watch the candle as it develops and see what happens. The market has to open. We'll see today's candle and tomorrow's candle, and that will give us some idea, unless the market starts tanking immediately. Google is up 8.61%, and friends, I mentioned it in my shorts also this morning for pre-market. I think that as far as Google is concerned, it has been pumping money into AI right from the beginning. Therefore, its ratios were looking pretty healthy as compared to the Max 7s. The Max 7s are putting more money in right now. That's one of the reasons why Microsoft has also fallen. So I'm thinking that Google is looking pretty good, pretty solid at this point of time. We have already met our target of 273.55. We are right now at 298.61. Therefore, I'm going to be looking at new candles coming up here to give us new chart pattern. The patterns could be bullish or bearish. We'll take those patterns and then run with it. So that's what I'm thinking. And let's go on to Amazon. Amazon is down 0.72% in pre-market trades. It will continue to get support at 227.01. That's the initial support, and the next support will be 224.21. And there is no gap up or gap down because the wick is kind of overlapping. But this is the verdict I have for Amazon. Market sentiment is bullish. MACD is also bullish. Momentum is above average, and we have earnings this evening. So there could be a little bit of jitters before the earnings, and those actions will be seen out here. Apple is up 0.67% in pre-market trades. We have a target of 278.06. I think we are proceeding in that direction. So this movement is pretty strong for Apple today. Microsoft is down 2.16%. They are pumping in more money. In a way, you can look at it as a positive, saying that they are bolstering their AI offerings so that they can compete with the other Max 7. But all the investment is going to mean that the revenues are coming down. As I mentioned earlier, something has to give. If there's a very rosy forward PE and the earnings come down right now, you have to look at how the earnings of the future that we are imagining can happen. If all this automation is going to lead to a lot of people losing their jobs, then the purchasing power of the market is going down. If the purchasing power is down, how can they pay for more of the stuff that AI is dishing out? The other thing is also small businesses are falling behind in being able to adapt to AI because of the high costs that are involved and also the tariff impact that they are facing. So the small business segment is likely to get wiped out a lot, and that's going to impact on the demand that we are seeing, because the employees in the small business sector and the entrepreneurs in that sector are not going to have income. So I think all these market enthusiasm is dubious. We have to come to a day of reckoning. When is it? I don't know. But we are at the inflection point, and things have got to matter right now, because the real economy where people have to put bread and butter on table, they are suffering, in my opinion. And it's only the cream de la cream, that is the 10%, which is pushing the market and keeping it where it is. Tesla is down 0.77%. It has got a resistance at 472.11. And I think for today, it would get a support somewhere around 454.70 and then at 452.34. Those are the two levels of support that I'm seeing for Tesla. And in terms of Oracle, I think Oracle is down 0.84%. It's still moving along this diagonal line of support in my opinion. AMD is down 0.96%. That's not a great look out there, but I don't see anything very bearish in the charts out here. So I'm going to reserve my opinions for the next few days. AMD will have a delta with the overall index. If the index falls, then I think AMD could also fall. SMCI is down 0.57%. It's still going to get support at around 52.39 first, and then it could get a support at around 49.86. Broadcom is up 0.12% in pre-market trades, and we have a target for it at 439.25. So I'm relieved to see a little bit of positive, but all the shares have a delta with the index. If the index falls, all of these things will also be reacting accordingly. Palantir is flat in pre-market trades. I still have Palantir. I have not sold it off. It will get support today at 197.55, and it has a target of 214.53. I'm still holding on to Palantir because it will get a lot of money from the government. The government sector is not going to dry up. So with the geopolitical risks coming up, I think Palantir has got an opportunity to sustain its earnings and boost its earnings. That's why I'm still holding on to Palantir, but I'm watching it very closely. At the slightest fear, I might sell off my Palantir and book the profits and wait on the sidelines. SMH semiconductor index is down 0.29%, and it will get support today at 363.34. That's my estimation. There's a gap up that has to be closed. So the gap up happens from 364 all the way to 366. So that's the gap that we are looking to fill up today. Tempus AI is down 0.16%. We still have resistance at 90.34. And I think there's a whole lot of consolidation out here. And this bull flag was compromised when we dropped to below 50% of the flagpole. So I'm still watching this consolidation. I don't know where Tempus AI is going to go. Market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, and momentum is just above average. Let's wait for earnings on 4th of November and see if there are any catalysts out there. Celsius holding is down 0.60%. It is still got support at around 60.61. I'm not throwing in the towel yet. I'm going to watch a little bit to see how the candles develop out here. With that said, let's go on and have a look at Genomics. And Genomics Prime is up 1.32%, but it's going to find resistance today at 4.71, and it will have support at 4.56, which is where it bounced back the last time. And then we have Intelia, which is down 15.62%. 3 hours ago, there was a news on Intelia, and let me go to the news. Intelia falls as FDA places clinical hold on its gene therapy trials. So that's the news that we have, and we can read all this later. It's for TTD, and Fed's decision follows a serious safety event where a patient who received the therapy developed signs of potential liver damage. So usually in these circumstances, what happens is the company does a review of all the data that is available and tries to prove whether the therapy was involved in this situation or the therapy was not involved. So the verdict still is out there. We'll have to watch for Intelia coming back with some information. So there will still be an opportunity for it to bounce back up again if it seems that if it is proved that that particular patient had some other factors at work which caused the situation and not the therapy itself. So I'll be watching Intelia closely. These kind of drops generally have a dead cat bounce, and subsequently if there's an announcement from FDA that it has accepted Intelia's finding that something else was at play, then you'll see a jump back up again. So for now, I'm going to convert this support at 18.76 into a resistance. And then I'm going to look at the next one, which is Caribou Biosciences. Friends, I'm still holding Caribou Biosciences. It's not looking very good right now. We clearly have got a bear flag in operation out here. And we have a drop of 0.84% in pre-market trades out here. Market sentiment is bearish. MACD is also bearish. Momentum is just at around average. I think it's going to fall down further. Caribou Biosciences is looking weak. Beam Therapeutics is down 0.48. Beam Therapeutics is also looking weak out here, and its next support I think is going to be somewhere in the region of 23.97. Altimmune is flat in pre-market trades, but it has been going up on this diagonal channel very nicely. So I would say for today, I would peg the support at 3.91 for Altimmune. Then we have Editas, which is down 0.66% in pre-market trades. It's well below this diagonal line of support that was earlier available to us. Now I'm going to mark that as a diagonal line of resistance. And if we close below 3.04, we'll be confirming these diagonal lines of resistance and the horizontal line of resistance. And that's going to be very bad for Editas. Illumina is up 0.24% in pre-market trades. We still have support at $95. CRISPR Therapeutics is down 0.90% in pre-market trades. I'm just going to pull on this diagonal line of support. I'm going to recalibrate this and say that we're going to have a support at around 61.15. Allogene is up 0.82% and we'll have resistance at 1.26. Grail is up 0.82% in pre-market trades, and I think for today we'll have a resistance at 88.37. Right now we are at 85.91. PSCB is up another 0.50%, so this would look like a bullish pennant to me, and we still have a target out here of 2.19. So let us see if we can meet that target. Oh, let me have a closer look again. Yeah, so this is the bull flag pattern. This is the target that we had. So we should have gone to 2.18. We have not yet gone there. So I withdraw my statements from earlier. I want to see a few more candles out here because I don't see any pattern emerging out here. Because if we had another bull flag coming up here, then it's already compromised because we have dropped down to 50%. So I'll watch a few more candles out here. Market sentiment is bullish. MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is above average. Plenty of room on the RSI. Earnings on 5th of November can give us some directions. ARCG is up 0.77% in pre-market trades. I still don't have any definitive clue for either bullishness or bearishness. Market sentiment, which is bullish, is continuing to wane. MACD is continuing to become exceedingly bearish, and momentum has fallen below average, and it's continuing to drop. So it's not looking very encouraging out there. Vertex is down 0.36%. It still has support at 413.83. And we look at Ginkgo Bioworks. It's up 2.05% in pre-market trades. 3 black cross patterns. This is a bearish pattern. I'm thinking that there is a correlation. There's a delta for most stocks. DNA also has a stock correlation with the index. So if the overall index goes down today, we may see a wipeout of this positive sentiment that we are seeing here, because the overall market sentiment is bearish and the MACD is also bearish and momentum is below average. Pre-market action cannot be relied on 100%. So I still think that Ginkgo Bioworks is bearish. And let's go on to Precision. Precision is down 0.50% today, and I think for today it will get support at 3.88, failing which it will get a support at around 3.64. Eli Lilly is continuing in the same regression channel, and it's range bound and it's consolidating. It has this bear flag pattern, and I'm not yet seeing the bear flag being compromised. The flagpole is still at 50% as far as the price action is concerned. I want to see more candles coming up out there. And then I'm going on to RARE, which is Ultragenics. Ultragenics is down 1.86%. Yesterday there was a whole lot of volatility and range bound trading, and today we are coming back down again. So I'm thinking that if we open here today, then we will compromise a bull flag in formation. So I want to see what happens to today's candle, and tomorrow we'll take a call on it. I'm still holding on to my Ultragenics shares. RKT for Inf, and RKT is looking really bearish to me, and I continue to hold RKT. I have this bad habit of holding on to losing stocks. I have not been able to overcome that, even though I consciously say I should book losses. That's how I got stuck with FNGD, and that's how I'm stuck with RKT. In other counters, I have been able to take profits, and I've logged in a lot of profit for this year. So So it's up to me how much of my profits I want to realize so that I can manage my taxes. I got my profits in place. So with that said, let's go on and have a look at look at currencies. In currencies, we are looking at Bitcoin. Am I able to make any intelligent suggestions for Bitcoin? The answer is no. I don't have any directions for Bitcoin. To me, it looks weak overall on the chart, and it's going to have a resistance today at 109,568. So I'm thinking that if we break above that and confirm above that, then we have a story. Otherwise, we are looking at a bearish story continuing out here. Ethereum is also down 1.33%. It's also looking bearish to me at this point of time. And XRP USD is also down 1.11%. Series of red candles, and I think our bullish target of reverse head and shoulder for 3.03 is diminishing by the minute. I don't think we are going to have this target anymore, 3.04. I'm going to watch for new candles to develop out here to show me what is happening. Even if I were to treat this segment as a bull flag, let me just draw it out for you here. If I assume this segment, just this segment to be a bull flag, and this is the flag of this flagpole, we are already at 50% almost. So I want to see what happens with the next candle before I make any call. So I'm neutral on XRP. So that's what I have got out here. And .4G, what was it that you asked me yesterday? Let me see if I have that somewhere. I don't know where I put it. I want to check it out for you again today. I forget the name of the stock. NGG. I think it was NGG if I'm not mistaken. NGG is up 0.37%. NGG, I don't think it's looking any better than yesterday for me at this point of time. Yesterday we had a steep drop, so it's not looking that great at this point of time. There is a gap down also, gap up also, which has to be fulfilled. So our next support is 75.03 and our initial support is going to be 75.55. We are at 75.83. That's all I can say out here. So that's it, my friends. I think I'm personally a bit disappointed with what we have here. Let me go to CNN and look at the headlines out there. We are in the fear segment. Let's go to CNN. CNBC. And get into CNBC headlines. So you can see all the futures are looking red out here. Microsoft slides as Meta and Microsoft fall after earnings. Eli Lilly blows past estimates, hikes guidance as Zep Bond and Monjaro sales soar. As I was saying, Eli Lilly is a strong company. Let us see what the reaction is in the market when we open later on. Now, as far as the headlines are concerned, I don't see anything that great coming out today. So I'm going to end my session out here, my friends. Thanks for joining me. And I'm going to end the session here. Bye, friends. I'll see you.